Hello there, Shortcuts. This is video 2 for the Shortcuts price list, which will go out 9 p.m. sharp this Wednesday, the 27th, Sydney time. If you would like to be on the price list, drop me an email, shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. This is a purely Japanese rock, classic rock in fact, and pop list. This is as pure a list of classic records as you are likely ever to see from me. So here we go. Let's get into it. I wasn't quite sure what to kick off with, but I decided to go with this just because I know how popular this record is out there with you all. It's still in the shrink wrap. It's a first press. It still has the OB on the bottom left square. And because it's a first press, it has a rosette, which only appeared on the first press on the top left corner, and it's still in the shrink. I'm going to leave whoever buys this to properly unwrap it. It is the Japanese first press of George Michael's Faith. So there's the OB that I was talking about. It's not kind of an OB, it's more, I guess it's more like a hype sticker. There's the rosette that I was telling you. There's a little bit of the shrink here. It is in perfect condition. Includes all of the inners and various things. The record is absolutely pristine. What is there left to say about George Michael's Faith? What I will say is, set aside the Grammy for Record of the Year and multiple US number ones, and all that stuff. And it's such a brilliant album. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the feedback that I've got from this album from quite a few of you who've bought it. It's hard to find because in Japan it's really tightly held. It's one of the most popular albums ever released in Japan. And so it's so difficult. And so therefore it's expensive. So this record will be, probably the most expensive, definitely the most expensive in this bundle. But I know some of you out there, and you know who you are, have raved to me about how brilliant this record sounds. There's one club member that uses this record as the, if you kind of sit down and listen to the record, this is what good vinyl sounds like. So it's got something. There's some of the shrink wrap coming out. The copy I have doesn't have the rosette or this sticker, which is actually pretty cool. But I think it's a great copy. Fantastic record. There you go. Not my personal favorite record on the list, because the next one is my favorite record on the list. And all of these tonight are first presses. I think uniquely is the first time I think I've had an entire list which is Japanese first press. All of them with absolutely beautiful vinyl. A couple with posters, which we'll show you in a second as well. But this is my favorite record on the list. I think this is one of the most perfect pop records ever made. And I think that it has a shout for being maybe the best New York album. Maybe the best New Wave album. It is Parallel Lines by Blondie. Look at that sleeve. How good is that? It is in magnificent condition. I have played this album so many times. I know all the words. I know every track. But I always call out Fade Away and Radiate. It is the fourth track on side 1. It is the most mellow, slowest tempo track on the album. Bear in mind, this is an album that starts off with Hanging on the Telephone and includes Sunday Girl and Heart of Glass, two arguably of the greatest singles ever. And picture this as well. And one way or another, It's like an album, but Fade Away and Radiate. If you don't know this album, put that song on as loud as you can, sit back and close your eyes. What a band. What a singer. The producer of this album is one of the kind of unsung heroes, a guy called Mike Chapman. And he just did a brilliant job of creating this pristine pop noise. It's absolutely spectacular. Now, I called out all of those singles for a reason, because the next album I have, and I can't remember if I've had this before. If I had, it's pretty rare. I'm actually going to show some of the inserts. So you've got lyrics, and I have another record insert. This is the Japanese first press of the best of Blondie. So we've got Parallel Lines, and you get Best of Blondie. Listen to this track list. Heart of Glass, Denise, The Tide is High, In the Flesh, Sunday Girl, Dream and Hanging on the Telephone, Rapture, Picture This, Union City Blue, Call Me Atomic, Rip Her to Shreds. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tracks from Parallel Lines. And it doesn't have Fade Away and Radiate, which it really should. It sounds absolutely brilliant. It looks great. Every track's a winner. This has the kind of the first version of Heart of Glass. This has the disco version of Heart of Glass. They're both amazing. Blondie. Love Blondie. Love Blondie. All right. Now I have... Actually, I tell a lie. This is the one record that is not a first press. This is a limited edition repress in perfect condition of Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. Inside here is all of the inserts that show the building, and also things like the Japanese lyric sheet. There's also an additional kind of postery thing as well. On Swan Song, as you know, vinyl in fantastic condition. When I was learning piano, when I was at high school, so I would have been 12, 13, 14, I used to go to the Protestant side of town in Dungannon. It was called Milltown. Yeah, you knew you entered Milltown because the curbstones were painted red, white and blue. It wasn't really a place that I spent a lot of time, as I came from the other side of the religious and cultural divide. But I would go there, and my mum would bring me there for my piano lesson from Victor. And Victor played in a band. And one of the pleasures of my time with Victor wasn't playing piano, it was that he had a CD player, which is kind of ironic now because I love records so much. And he would make me cassettes. And so he would make me, for example, he loved Pet Shop Boys. So he would make me cassettes with Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls, and the kind of the great pop bands of the era. But every so often he would make me a Led Zeppelin. The first he did was Led Zeppelin 2. The second was Physical Graffiti. I listened to that tape to death. And to this day, I kind of have a bit of a love-hate relationship with some of Zepp. I'm so overly familiar with it now that sometimes I feel like I can't enjoy it the way that I used to, except for this album, except for Physical Graffiti. It's such an odd record. You've got 50s boogie with Stu. You've got really kind of ragged acoustic. You've got long, almost prog rock with a real bluesy feel, like In My Time of Dying. You've got really scuzzy, almost, I don't know, almost too compressed with the Custard Pie. Robert Plant's voice has changed. It's a lot more hoarse and croaky now. But you've got songs like In the Light, and there's something about its diversity and its weirdness that I think maybe holds up over time, maybe compared to some of the others. And, you know, the sleeve is just amazing. Just such a brilliant concept. Yeah. Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. I think arguably probably their last great album. What came later was different. But there you go. It's a lovely copy. All right, back to some pop. This is maybe not at the top of many of your lists for greatest albums of all time, but there is a place for this record, and the Japanese pressing sounds so good. It is the Bangles. Look at that. The Bangles, Different Light. Again, look, Manic Monday. Walking down your street. Walk like an Egyptian. And that wonderful cover version of September Girls on side 2. Cover version of September Girls, the classic by Big Star, where the chorus goes, December boys got it bad. December Boy is what I used to create my first email address, which was a Hotmail address. December_boy2000 at hotmail.com. Created in honor of Big Star when I was at university, and covered by the Bangles on Different Light. All right, you all know that I think the Japanese made some brilliant Beatles records, and there are a number of kind of mono presses and things like that that I'm now hunting down that are hard to find, bloody expensive. But the 1976 repress series that they did that begins with EAS is kind of, I don't know, bang for buck, maybe some of the greatest Japanese presses they ever did. And I've got the two best here. They didn't do any better than what they did for Revolver and what they did for Abbey Road. Two great 1976 EAS presses. Just look up the reviews on Discogs. You'll see what I mean. If you've got gaps in your Beatles collection and Abbey Road and Revolver are in there, you won't find better. Unless you spend stupendous amounts of money, and even then it might not be better. All right, we have an Aussie record on the list. The Japanese first press of The Swing by INXS. A really nice gatefold, pristine condition. Original Sin, of course, being the big track, opening track of this one. Let me show you the inserts because they're in absolutely perfect condition. The Swing INXS and this kind of eco color lyric sheet in just have to trust me, it looks like it came out the factory today. It's wonderful. INXS, The Swing, sounds great too. All right, now there's a couple of records with posters. The Japanese first press of Hotel California. This is the largest selling record in the history of Shortcuts. 65 copies. There's the poster of the band. Brilliant condition. such a fine sounding record too. When I go to the record fairs, invariably, this is the first record that sells. It's incredibly popular, even to this day. There you go. Hotel California. Next we have Queen Jazz. Again, look at that gatefold. It's like a brick. Amazing condition. Beautiful all round. This is the two inners, one of which is like a little poster and band. But this, of course, is the... I don't know how exactly know how I'm going to show this, but I'll do a quick glimpse if I possibly can. You will know that on this record is the song Fat Bottom Girls and the song Bicycle Race. And quick glimpse of the poster that supports those two tunes in particular. It's been really hard to find high quality Queen records. I've had to send some back. They haven't been good enough, but this is fabulous. And a couple more to go. The Japanese first press of Rock and Roll Over by Kiss. Again, another gatefold on the Casablanca label. A beautiful copy of David Bowie's Low. I'm pretty sure this is the first press as well. I'll have to double check. And then this one that I have not had for donkeys. And this, mastered and pressed by Stan Ricker, one of the greatest that ever did it. And it is Discovery by ELO, the Japanese first press, including the two inners, three inners in fact. That's right, the first press came with three inners, there they all are, and the sale certificate on Jet Records in perfect condition. What a list of classic rock and pop that is. And they're really not going to be that expensive as well. My experience with these types of lists is don't sit on your hands. If you want something, get in quick. They'll disappear pretty fast, typically. There you have it. Bowie, ELO, the Bangles, the mighty Blondie, George Michael, the Beatles. Gotta love it. All right, everyone. That's list 2, the classic rock and pop list. The price list will come out 9 p.m. on Wednesday, Sydney time. If you would like to receive the list, but you haven't, you're not on the mailing list, drop me an email, shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. Please put a comment or some kind of recognition. It means an awful amount to who sees these, because I make the effort to make them, and if people don't see them, it's a bit of a shame. So if you can, put a comment in, or subscribe or a like or anything at all. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.